Today's episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Full Sail University.
Welcome to Film Riot Mondays. Before we get into today's episode, just wanted to let you guys know about something cool we're doing. It's a giveaway that we're calling Triune Secret Santa, where basically we're gonna pick one lucky human to get a box of awesomeness, which will be filled with over $9,000 worth of filmmaker goodies.
That's a lot of goodies.
That's a lot of goodies. We're gonna have stuff from brands like Rode, Red Giant, Kessler Crane, Switcher Studio, Hit Film, Iographer, Rampa Design, Lens Pro to go, Meze headphones, and I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Did you mention Hit Film?
Yes, I mentioned Hit Film.
Did you mention Kessler Crane?
Iographer, we said Iographer. Yes, I mentioned Kessler Crane.
Did you mention
and
George
us.
Clooney?
No, I didn't. And of course, we're putting in a bunch of stuff from our store as well, all together totaling over $9,000 worth of pure and total awesomeness. To enter, it's going to be super simple. All you're going to need to do is tweet something out, which we'll give all the details for through our Triune Store Twitter. So make sure you follow the Triune Store Twitter as soon as possible so you get the details. Once we put them out, you can jump on it. And this is going to be open from now until probably December 21st, which is when we'll pick a winner, and then we'll announce that winner from the Triune Store Twitter. So again, make sure you follow that. But that's it. Now let's jump into some questions. First question, you've given some advice on shooting in cold weather. Can you give some DIY advice for shooting in the rain and protecting your equipment? What I've always done in the past when, it might rain when I don't want it to is to make sure I have things like garbage bags, umbrellas, and a tarp. A giant tarp. Why, you might ask? This is why. So we were in the middle of nowhere. It started to absolutely just downpour on us. And if we didn't have that tarp, we would have been pretty screwed because there was no cover to be had anywhere near us. So we were able to get all our gear undercover cups and, keep it all dry so we didn't ruin any of our stuff. Without that, a lot of gear would have been ruined that day. So if there's any chance of rain, I make sure I have stuff like that that I could get the gear underneath and keep it protected. Then with stuff like garbage bags, if it's just raining very lightly, I can put my camera inside of a garbage bag, create a hole for the lens, and then use gaff tape to cover up any sort of openings to protect it that way, and then have an umbrella on top of that. But I only do that if it is raining very lightly. If it's raining hard, I'm not messing with that. I'm waiting till the rain passes. I'm not trying to ruin my gear unless you're getting the pro, rain protection type stuff. That stuff can be really great and can work awesome for you, but it can be pricey depending on what you get. And then the other problem with that stuff is sound. The rain is hitting your umbrellas or the bags or whatever, and it's ruining your sound. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Where should you upload your movies for review? Somewhere that's private yet good quality, unlike unlisted on YouTube. The best place for uploading and getting notes on work, in my opinion, is Frame.io. It is amazing. It is what I use all the time when I'm working with anyone and I need to get notes. Like me and Seth work with each other a lot, passing stuff back and forth and giving each other notes on our work. So I'll always put it to Frame.io and then invite him to the project, and then he can get in there, draw on the image, stop an exact, time code moments and give me notes on very exact things, which is incredibly helpful, especially when it comes to pacing or different musical beats or visual effects for sure. So that's absolutely number one place for me. That does cost money though. If you want to go a free route, you can get Vimeo, and then you can do password protected stuff, which is great. I never ever do it through YouTube. I just don't trust that that's going to stay private. Things have been published on accident before and I still don't know how it happened. So I definitely don't trust YouTube for that sort of thing. Vimeo is great though. You can set your video password protected and no one will be able to see it except for who you send it to with the password. So that is a great alternative as well. Tips or tricks for getting your questions answered on FilmRiot? Oh, I get it. I get what you're doing there. Get out. Get out. We don't tolerate that kind of talk here. Have you ever considered shooting one of your projects on actual film instead of digitally? If no, why not? I would absolutely love to shoot on film, but it's no longer a, need as it used to be. I would say even 5 years ago, I could easily tell the difference between film and digital. That is no longer the case. Of course, it depends on, in whose hands that camera is, because some people can make film look like digital. Some people can make digital look like film. So it really depends on who the talent is behind the camera, not what you're shooting with. And I think that's a problem across the board with gear, with format, all that stuff. People put so much energy into that. If I'm just shooting 4K, then it'll look like X. No. What is the talent behind the camera? That is the only thing that matters at the end of the day, not whether it's film or digital. Look at the new Project Greenlight. That guy was so adamant about shooting on film, but in the end, if I would have saw his film before I saw Project Greenlight, I would have thought they shot digitally. It does not look like film at all. And if he would have just gone digital, he would have gotten the same look and he would have had extra days, which they desperately needed. So it really just depends. I mean, Roger Deakins is shooting all digital and his cinematography is some of the most gorgeous stuff that's out there right now, you know, kicking the butt of some of the stuff that's being shot on film. But I will say that in the right hands, film still has this extra quality to it. It's probably nostalgia. You know, we were raised with film, looking at film. Film is very cinematic. So, you know, that emulsion, what it has, that little extra, what it has some kind of emotional tweak in us to where it feels more magical and cinematic. So I do still think that film does have that little edge if it's in the right hands, but I think that's a rare case, not always the case. I think now we're in a place where it's pretty much 50-50 for me, to where I wouldn't be extremely depressed if I was never able to shoot on film, which 5 years ago, I would have said I would be. So hopefully at one point we do shoot on film, but just to show the process of it, I think that would be very interesting. But it's not really something where I think about we have to shoot on film because of X. Last question, for someone like me who's a perfectionist and can't stop working on something, how do you decide when the painting is finished? There's a great quote that says, films don't get released, they escape. And I totally agree with that, which is why I think deadlines are the answer to your question. Just give yourself a deadline, a reasonable one. Setting harsh deadlines have been a problem for us in the past. I set too harsh deadline and it kind of hurt the project a little bit. Already announced, so we got to release it. But you know, in the end, it ended up being sleepless nights and things were a little bit too rushed. So make sure you're giving yourself, you know, reasonable deadlines. You're not killing yourself with it, but have a set date of by this time, I'm done with this and I'm moving on to the next thing. Because also keep in mind that at some point your tweaking is no longer helping the film, but hurting it. You always will get to that point to where changes are just gonna make the film lesser, not greater, because these, you know, these great choices that you made from instinct or whatever are gonna start looking bad to you over time because you've seen it so much. You're gonna start trying different things. You're just gonna start hurting your project. So keep that in mind as well. Set some appropriate deadlines and try to stick to them. If you dream of becoming a filmmaker, Full Sail University has degree programs to help you achieve your goal, including the on-campus Films Bachelor Degree Program. Throughout the Films Bachelor Degree Program, you learn the filmmaking process from start to finish on a campus that houses the technology and resources you need. In the online Digital Cinematography Bachelor's Program, you learn what it takes to write, shoot, and edit your own films. Online students receive a technology package that includes a professional level digital camera. Full Sail is also excited to announce the new Film Production Master Degree Program designed to give you advanced education in the behind-the-scenes aspects of filmmaking. I went to Full Sail, myself and other grads have worked on films like The Hunger Games, Gravity, and many more. Full Sail University also offers a variety of campus and online degrees in fields related to the entertainment and media industry. Visit fullsail.edu/FilmRiot to learn more. So that's it for today, which means it's time for my suggestion of the week. This one's called Uncanny Valley. It is an awesome, just visually nuts short film that you'll find on Vimeo right here. And don't forget to follow us on Triune Store Twitter to get all the details about the giveaway we're doing. And until next time, write, shoot, edit, repeat.